Okay, very special guest here. We have Sam McKinnon, Hall of Fame. Are you in the Hall of Fame, Sammy?
No.
You should be, and you will be. Of course, you didn't
definitely
play in the modern era, but you should be.
I've been, since we started this podcast, Brucey Boy, I've been looking forward to getting our good friend Sam on. We have dropped his name on multiple occasions because I don't drop as many names as you do, but that's a fact. But Sam, welcome.
Thanks for having me, boys. I've been sort of waiting to get on the show. I didn't want to do it in person, not over Zoom. So
that's nice.
Brisbane,
that's nice.
Yeah.
You're a good man. Let's just give a little brief.
Let's see where he's.
It's hard to be brief with his playing career. He started in 1994 with the South East Melbourne Magic.
Correct.
Remember, I tried
You
hard
recruited
to.
me in 1993.
That's right.
Pigeon.
But you were 14 years old.
Yes.
You like it up here. Anyway, from 94 to 2010, within that, you're a two-time NBL champion.
Correct.
Two-time NBL Finals MVP.
One time.
One.
Finals MVP.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see, I've done my reading.
Yeah.
It's right in front of me, and I still
Someone
can't read
changed
it.
Wikipedia on you, I think.
They've been known. Well, let's start with this. You're still 6'6", but you have still listed weight at 104 kilos. They're so generous.
More than that.
Anyway, the only MVP, the only one that we could find in our research, I asked Steve to research this. You were the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. I think you're the only one that's done that.
So let's summarise that 2007. That's a pretty special year.
I mean, Andrew Gaze and Bryce Cotton have won every other MVP, and they don't play defence, so someone had to do it.
What about Rob Rose? Did he ever win an MVP?
Because
Rob won an MVP. Yeah, he was pretty handy on the defensive end.
He's an all-time defender,
defender, but I don't think he won the defensive title.
Yeah, no, interesting.
Well, we don't know. You got your thing right there.
By the way, we have dropped that many times because let's just peel that back for a second. So, was that the year you got MVP in the final, 2007?
Yeah, I think I won a few awards that year. Yeah,
that's a pretty amazing year.
Yeah, no, it was a good year. And I think to go back
historic,
to the Defensive Player of the Year, Martin Catalini, reminds me all the time that he dropped 50 on me during that season. How to get Defensive Player of the Year, but my comeback is that Dusty Reichart started on him in the first quarter.
So Dusty let him get going.
I think I went to overtime that game, so Dusty let him go in. Yeah, so I curbed his 25 in the first quarter to 50 for the game. But
now, did you guys beat the Tigers in that? Because we just did Al Westover.
Yep.
Monday. My God, we were podcasting. We're churning them out, mate.
Yeah.
So that was against. I think when your first championship, was that against the Tigers as well when you were with South East Melbourne?
The Magic.
You guys beat on Al like a redheaded stepchild.
They also beat back on us, but yeah,
they did.
We did give it to Al. I mean, that was a genuine rivalry. Those were well-played the Magic
series.
Tigers, and I think I was fortunate when I started playing professionally, and we played against you, Bruce, that first game, and that was a Wednesday night, and there was like 10,000 people there at a game at Flinders Park, and that real rivalry within Melbourne to want to be the best team with the Giants there as well.
Is that still with the South East Melbourne and United? Is that still the same, or is it talked up more, not as real as it was? Because it really was a big deal.
There's not that genuine hate or animosity, but it is a rivalry, probably a modern rivalry, I like to call it. Like, I know when I was with the Phoenix as an assistant coach, the first year, it was like, we've got to hate these guys. So you got a bunch of new players who don't really understand the history, but once players have been there for a couple of years, then they really take that on. So it's a really enjoyable thing, like to come and play and run a full house, and the fans want to see a good game. You want to beat up on them. You want to have a bit of bragging rights. So it's the closest thing to what it was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
And we spoke about it before we went to air, what your Wikipedia page misses is that you were a member of the 1997 22 and under gold medal winning.
World Championship.
That's right, World
No.
Championship.
So I just want to
Not
clarify
Oceania.
that in the Steve McLeod studio, I have 2 world champions in front of me.
Indeed, you do.
Okay, I feel blessed.
But, you know, another world championship, it's not a world championship, it's a Commonwealth game gold medal.
Yep, correct.
Who was at the helm? Who coached that team? Was that Boy Gorge?
Yeah,
That's right.
Gorge was that, 06, so in Melbourne.
Right.
Yeah, so that was a really good experience, something which you sort of dismissed a little bit because basketball wasn't obviously a compound sport, and came in for the 06 games. And
Who did you guys beat in the gold medal game?
I mean, those guys down south,
New Zealand.
Kiwis.
New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise, we beat the Kiwis. Still my Kiwi bros out there. But yeah, I think I just spent a bit of time in New Zealand, so we have a good banter with that crew. But it was a close game. We got over the line on that one. So that was a really good memory.
So all you listeners, we're going to start from the current. Now we've laid.
Yeah, so we talk about New Zealand.
Yeah, we want to know
That's
currently with the name it heirs to
Taranaki airs. So roll your R's.
Taranaki.
There you go. Good.
And so you're the GM and head coach.
Yeah, so the first year I was the head coach, and then the second year, just with new owners coming in, just the local management, and then me being the head coach, just trying to figure out what was going on there. And so this year I took on the role as GM as well, a bit of a hybrid role.
Yeah.
And also to get the owners more involved as well on the ground. And so we sort of ran it back. We didn't really run it back. We had a totally different team. But year 2, we managed to finish third again, but we lost in the elimination final.
Semi-final, yeah.
So
Who can you name some of the players in your squad this year that some of the listeners will know?
yeah, so I think for me this year, Carlin Davidson's gone up another level. He ended up making the All-Star 5. You'll see him hopefully play a lot for the Breakers this year. Young Jack Andrew, who was a DP for Perth Wildcats. Had one phone call with Jack. He's a very doesn't speak a lot. I got a good read on Jack. I never followed him up, and got a phone call 2 months later saying, "Yep, I'll come play for you." And I thought that was the recruiting pitch needed for Jack, and he had a career best year. He just played for the Tall Blacks 2 nights ago. And our imports, we started with Harry Frolin, Owen Foxwell and Armon Fletcher, and obviously Harry and Foxy being Aussies. Harry coming back from 2 years out of the game was really good for him, but it was good and bad. I think we probably put him in the spotlight too early. Had a great first game, 32 points and 12 rebounds, hits a game winner, double overtime, but his body probably just wasn't ready for that level of competition. And he was still very effective, but going back to NBL 1, just sort of getting his body right for the NBL was probably the best thing for Harry. But we had him, but I think for us, so we managed to finish third, but we lost Owen Foxwell halfway through the year, which was...
Man, he is tough.
That was
Did you lose him to injury or call back by the Phoenix?
So...
There's a smirk, listeners, on Sam's face. So there's a hair, there's a beard on this story.
Yeah. Foxy's just a young kid trying to figure out what's best pathway for him, and he was being pulled every other which way, and go to Italy and do an Adidas camp for NBA potential, and then maybe go to summer league. So we had all these things going on. He was trying to go to college.
Yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
So he was seriously thinking that as
Yeah,
well.
I think all the kids should. Like all the kids who are 20 to 22 years old who can go back to college. I think Jack Andrew is going to be reclassified, go back to college. The NIL money is ridiculous. So I don't think clubs should stand in the way given the amount of money that's been spoken about. But for me, the decision with Foxy came down to, as the GM and head coach, was difficult. But last year, learning from Sam Frolin, going to summer league the very last minute, that really hurt our finals chances. We lost in double overtime to the eventual champion. If we'd had Sam Frolin, it's a different situation. And with Foxy this year saying he was going to try to go to summer league,
So you let him go
I had to
early.
make that decision to then get someone to try to replace him. And Foxy didn't go to college, he didn't go to summer league. I'm not a gambler, and I would have loved to have had Foxy there for the whole year.
Mate, his last season in the NBL, was his best, I think.
And he was starting to figure out how to carry a team and learn to run a team. And we had really good communication during the game. And, it's difficult for a point guard to, how do I keep Harry happy? How do I keep Carlin happy? How do I run this team? How do I get my own? And it was really enjoyable. And he was having some really good games. And for me, disappointing to lose him because, Harry was always going to be a short-term thing when he came back to Australia. We brought in Craig Moeller, who's a great floor spacer.
Yeah.
I just thought with Foxy's speed, getting downhill, creating space for everyone, Craig would have benefited from that. And then Craig had to be sort of a bit more of a shooter, like a force shooter, which he's not. We had some good wins, but ultimately...
How big is Moeller?
He's a good 6'8", maybe even 6'9", Craig is. Like, he's long.
And he's had a pretty hard time with injury, hasn't he?
Yeah, lots of knee stuff, but he's 31 now. I think
Is he really?
He's so diligent with his rehab and recovery, and he's a pro's pro.
Now, is he Aussie or is he a Kiwi?
He's Aussie. He's
Okay.
Aussie. Yeah.
And is he going to get in the NBL?
I think he's sort of priced himself out, and he's got a German passport, so he can go over and play in Europe and as a local, and probably the money, the equivalent, he can make it over there rather than Australia.
We were talking, like, in my time that I can recall, I've never seen an off-season, like, the New Zealand NBL seems to have more, has grown in the last few years. So there's players, Aussies playing over there. There's the Kiwis all playing in that league. The Puerto Rican league has come out of the summer league. We never had any more players going to the summer league before, and the player movement has been incredible. What are your thoughts on that?
It's all opportunity. Puerto Rico is financially is pretty good. Pays very well, so that's why I like probably the likes of Sobey and Menenga, Tyrell Harrison, all those guys go over there and play in Puerto Rico.
And a few of the imports did as well.
Yeah, a few of the imports do as well. It's a good lifestyle.
Cotton went there, I think.
Yeah, live on the beach, enjoy, get paid well to play basketball in the off-season and keep fit. Because the NBL's such a short season, a month or two off, players don't do that anymore. They kind of go all year round. So whether you go, if you're a young guy in New Zealand, where you're at, or Puerto Rico, and then obviously Summer League, we had a lot of players involved in that. I think the Australian-New Zealand talent pool is being looked upon highly, and it's about probably what we... Not everyone's Josh Giddey or Dyson Daniels, but what they bring is that camaraderie, great teammates, and in the NBA, if a squad wants 15 players, there's a fair chance that the Aussies are going to be that 12 to 15 because they're good human beings. They work their asses off and there's no trouble.
They're great in the locker room and
all that sort of stuff.
You had, according to our
talented.
Wikipedia page, you had a taste, did you not? It says here
Dabbled.
Yeah, the San Antonio. This is after your breakout, that huge season. Workouts with San Antonio, Cleveland, Toronto, and Miami Heat.
Yep.
Tell us about it, Sammy.
The first one was Toronto, and I thought I did really well there in a trial. I remember one drill, just a one-on-one drill, and they had their guy Jamario Moon is who they drafted, and great athlete, but not very, like, the IQ probably wasn't there, and just I'd been a pro for a while, but thought I did really well there, but didn't, nothing came my way, which is fine. Went to Cleveland. I didn't do great there. Chris Gent drafted me number one. He was there. He was an assistant coach, and just because I played good team basketball, but I didn't perform well there. I thought I didn't do well. Went to Miami. And that was running around with your hands in your up in your head, just a bit military, which I thought was good. It was I think Toronto was on. I thought I had the most chance out there, to be honest. So.
But it was at a time where, like, basketball today in this positionless 5 out, 4 out, 1 in, it wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah,
when
I was undersized and probably more natural shifting towards that 3-4 position. I started at the Spurs. I got off the plane, had a camp. My legs went under me. I remember I couldn't even dunk on a break. I remember one. And
wow.
Then I went to Toronto. Did well in Toronto, Cleveland and Miami. Finished in Miami. But, it was a good opportunity. I think it was... The reality is you've got to be over there all off season. just being available for workouts.
Right.
And
But there was no summer league then, was there? Or
there was summer league, yeah,
but not to the nth degree that it is today, and the popularity and
not the popularity, but yeah, summer league has been there. I went with the Mavs early days when Anstey got drafted, and Nowitzki was there. It was a pretty cool experience. But yeah, I wasn't ready early days. I wasn't confident enough shooting. Towards the back end of the career, I thought I could shoot well enough to play there, but just, probably had a bit of it.
Man, I remember you. I mean, you talk about playing 3 and 4. I'm sure as Olympic Games where you really had to defend some bigs, and that, is not easy to do when you're defending people that are taller than you. Why do you think that role was thrown in? Because of your strength, or just?
Yeah, I think I was reasonably strong. I think people would laugh and say if I walked past a gym, I'd get bigger and stronger. So that's a Andrew Parkinson one. But yeah, I could sort of physically match up those guys and use my speed and athletically sort of compete. So it was probably easier for me to go up and guard a 4-5.
We had you in 97 defending the 1.
Yeah. And in 2000, I was guarding Steve Nash. I was guarding all the best guards because Drewy and Shane would take the
weaker guard.
Yeah, Noel's guard. Yeah, bloody Steve Nash hung me out to dry that game. Far out, kicked our ass. The Canadian team, he was unstoppable. And Meeks popping, we just couldn't guard that. But
I mean, you've obviously
lots of
played
experiences.
against. I mean, I'm sure you've been asked this a billion times. Who's the best player you played against? But collectively, you would have played hundreds of great players, right?
Body Roga, some Serbian teams. Kirilenko was unreal to guard.
Yeah.
Steve Nash.
What's that guy from Brazil? Oscar. No.
Oscar Schmidt.
Yeah. Did you play against him?
I did early days. I mean, I didn't really play. I was a young kid on the Australian team, but got to watch him. There's so many great. The Europeans are so good. The Lithuanian team, they're all unreal. Just the way they move the ball and their feel for the game. They all look.
And their skills.
They all look like they're not strong, but you hit them and you just they're hard and they were unreal to play against the Lithos.
So did you play against Sabonis' old man?
I did. Well, so he beat us, in the 96.
Sabonis.
Yeah, he had
a man mountain.
37, 15 and 15 or something like that. Like some ridiculous. I don't know what the actual stat line was, but that was for the bronze medal. And we didn't have Luke that tournament. And Hoagie, I love Mark Brake. He just against a player at the peak of his powers was so hard to guard.
I don't know if anyone at the peak of his powers was equal to him. I mean, everyone talks about Jordan and all that sort of stuff, but this is a different beast. You're talking about a very large man who could pass the ball as well as any point guard. He's
Jokic. It's like they're probably the comparison. I feel
right. Yeah,
how those two play they play the game.
Well, he came into the NBA like a 32-year-old rookie and was rookie of the year, and close to MVP if he wasn't the MVP.
Yeah.
And
skill.
But he wasn't moving like he used to move.
No, his knees were
everyone used to say he was such an athletic freak too. Before, so he must have.
I remember. Can I drop a name?
Go.
Wayne Carroll would just rave about this guy. So Wayne, shut up about this guy. But you get early clips of him. He was unbelievable. Moved like, in his youth before his knees went.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about, I mean, your career is just A grade plus. You're, in my opinion, you're one of the GOATs for Australian basketball, and you're a mate of mine, and I'm not trying to, blow up your ass, but you are.
Thanks.
But the
2 world champions here.
Yeah,
that's right, man. So I'm waiting for some praise.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm struggling. Okay, sorry, Bruce, you're a world champion as well.
Thank you.
But the opportunities that basketball, like, it's changed your life. Like, it's changing your son's life. Like, we're big fans of Max. He's very good to Bruce and I. Makes of his own bat, reaches out to us and says, sends us messages and stuff. But he's matured a lot, and the opportunities for these kids today is just insane, isn't it? Like,
You still got to be good.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
I mean, it's not. Like Jordan Mullen's not bringing kids over there thinking they're going to get nil money.
yeah, but mate, you can still go and play Div 3 and you might get some part of a ride, but you get a life experience. Like, it's not everyone's not going to be at the Olympic Games.
Yeah, I think the college experience is just getting more and more for a lot of kids. It used to be the select elite, I guess, top of the tree, whereas now you can start at JUCO, you can start at Division 3, Division whatever it is, Division 2, make your way up. And now you're talking about the NIL money. I think every kid should,
if you're good enough.
As far as the NBL goes, I think you're going to see very few of our elite kids playing the NBL anymore. And even the Next Stars program, how that's affected with that. Like right now, we've still got Alex Tui, but the next kids, just the money on offer in America right now is just ludicrous.
Well, we spoke to Tommy Lloyd, who's at Arizona, and he started to actually not even call it nil money anymore. He calls it his salary. That's
what
salary
it is.
cap.
Yeah.
He said it started as nil, and then when the recent, the lawsuit against the NCAA, he just said the athletic director at their college has the pie, and depending on what sport.
Yeah,
whether it's football or baseball, they've got to find the money for all the sports. So, but he basically, I chatted to him when just recently he was coaching the US at the under-19 World Champs, and he was just interested in one of the Aussie players, and he just said that I don't have any money left in my salary cap, but I'll keep an eye on him in the next 12 months. And I just thought that was an interesting way of describing it.
Yeah, they've all got GMs now too. Like Max's
really?
school, after Max signed, they just announced the new GM. So it's year to year, it's free agency. So
And will they go into the portal?
yeah, they go into the portal, and I don't know what happens behind the scenes with the top level guys, how much communication happens before they go into the portal, but I mean, it's
You'd
life
have to
and it's-
think that the agents, these players will have agents,
Yeah.
would be reaching out to those general managers.
Well, they're allowed
now.
to have NIL agents.
Yeah.
So clearly,
Right.
that's what's...
So they're doing all that stuff behind the scenes, but it's how many years of eligibility? I know we should have researched this. Does Max have? Does he have
He's in his-
1 or 2
he's in his final year.
final year?
There is talk that there might be a 5th year coming through. I know right now you can get 5 years if you're started in JUCO, so your clock doesn't start, so you get the 5th
But there's
year.
also COVID brought a whole lot of that 5th year that never
And that's
existed.
finished.
Yeah,
that's
that's what
now
I thought.
cycled out, right?
Yeah.
I believe just obviously 2025, so that's cycled out. But now they're talking about bringing in a 5th year. So I would be very happy if Max got a 5th year in the college system.
Oh, mate, the world's his oyster, and I just love the guy. But you obviously went to Elon with him. Is that the right way of saying it?
Elon,
And then you probably visited him when he was in Portland, and you've been to LSU. Explain to me what these university differences. He's obviously raising the bar.
Oh, Max is the one who he did it himself, Elon. But that's North Carolina, a really beautiful campus, like a nice, but it's a small D1 school.
Didn't and you coached him
Yeah,
with Cobby? What was his?
Cobby Wilson and Ben
Was
Wilson.
it Ben Wilson?
Yeah, I think Cobby was the initial with Ryan Sanders, the assistant
Ben
coach.
Wilson.
And then
They're
Ben-
both.
Ben's a bit of a mentor for Max, or he's a mentor for Max, and so they sort of helped get that deal across the line at Elon. So he did 2 years there. I think he was the CAA Freshman of the Year in that conference. Stayed there. Played the people were talking about nil money then, but he was happy just to stay. The second year, so Max didn't get paid any money the first couple of years, and then I went and visited him there both years at Elon. And then just this year with Portland, it didn't work out just because with the finals with the Phoenix and whatnot. I didn't get a chance to go visit him at Portland. But then, he had a good year. I think it was second team.
He played well when he was in Portland.
Yeah, really well.
What
Like
did
in
he
the
have?
conference, he did
42
well.
point?
He had a 42-point game and shot the three at 42% for the season. And
That's
just
impressive.
in conference, I think, started to...
Comparison alert.
Yeah.
What was your all-time high in the NBL?
for
Points.
3 point... Oh,
No, point
points per
scored.
game. Oh, jeez.
No, the most points you scored
Oh,
in
the
a game.
game, 35. Yeah, 35.
See,
Yeah,
just
I can't
too humble.
score.
No, you didn't take it upon yourself.
Yeah, I didn't shoot very much. I don't know. I liked getting rebounds and passing the ball, and yeah, it's just the way I like playing. Probably could have, should have, but I didn't shoot it
I'd
more.
still be okay if I scored 35 in the NBL.
All right, let's get to, because, Steve and I are big Bullets fans. And you had a great part to play with the Bullets after your playing career. You came in first as an assistant. Mm-hmm. Is that right? Was that under...
Advisory board, firstly.
Oh, okay.
Advisory board. So I got involved at that level when they rebranded. So that was good, just to meet some people in town and who were on that advisory board and learn from there. And I was working at Terrace and then just speaking to Andre Lamanis, and he said, do you want to... We're just talking. He said, look, I can get you involved and basically come to whatever you can come to. So training-wise, so I was at every training and every home game. So that's sort of how I got back involved in that, and just sort of there was a little bit of money in it, but I had my time away from the NBL, 6 or 7 years, and time to get back involved.
So from that level, how long were you, from the time that Andre Lamanis reached out to you to where it finished, then you went down to South Melbourne? How many years are we talking about?
About 6 years.
Right.
So when Bullets got back involved, I was involved from day one. The advisory boards, then the first year, and then assistant the next 3 years, and then
Under Andreas.
under Andre, yeah. And then there was a bit of turnover with staff. Richard Clark left, so we didn't have a GM in place, and we were trying to re-sign Will Magnay at that stage. And I was like, it was like, who's going to do it? Like, no one at the club, but we didn't have a CEO. He was coming on board, and I said, well, I've done contracts before. I've worked with franchising and bits and pieces. I know a little bit about it. Did my own contracts. So I was assistant coach doing a scout for Perth, and we managed to sign Will Magnay on the flight over to Perth.
So does the NBL not have a stock standard contract that they want to protect their interests?
There is a contract, a standard contract, but every player agent wants to have different clauses in for their player, and obviously financial. So I was a bit guided by that as well, but I just put my hand up to do that. Then we finished out the season as assistant coach and doing a bit of assistant GMing stuff. And then a new CEO came on board and they appointed me as general manager. Andre left. Andre had 1 year. I think Andre had 1 year. And then I was GM with Andre with that year. Just whatever the budget was from Larry was what we ran with. And then
at that time, were the Bullets owned solely by Larry Kesselman?
Yeah, but there was this transition of ownership happening in the background. They were trying to negotiate with that American ownership group. Yeah, and I think I got appointed the GM role. And
I mean, tell me to jump back in my box, but we talk about the ownership of the Bullets, right? And these guys that American, their wealth is public information. Like, it makes it out there into the public circle. I don't know if it's accurate or not. But the Bullets seem to have a less of a budget than other clubs. And, like you and I both know that makes a difference recruiting players.
Yeah, as I said, I always was, this was the budget I worked with. I always worked with that budget. And then moving the pieces to get a high-performance team in place, and how best to get the value out of that, to have that physio around more, or the S&C, who's going to do it for free, who's going to volunteer, all those sorts of things. And then the player personnel, like, how do we want to go about it? Like, do you want to get the best Australians and then go cheap on imports, which is the model we stuck to for a number of years under Andre. So we've got the Cam Gliddens and Jason Cadiz, and then you try to get cheap imports. And then when Andre left, it was when JD came in, how do you want to pivot this? Are we playing money ball, trying to find the $80,000 minimum player and then top up with a few good players? And I was, just when Andre left and sitting down with James Duncan, just talking about what players we're after and just giving him a list of players, and basically it was like, this is your team. Who do you want to get? And it was like I won't mention names, but it was a lot of sort of no's. And I was like, okay, no worries. And this is your team, and so I would support the head coach as best I could, and
Good on you.
financially, that's what I did, and personalities and whatnot, and
It's complicated, isn't it? Like to get a winning formula. Like you can have the 10 highest paid players in one team and you don't necessarily win.
No,
because they don't get on.
Yeah, it's very hard to, everyone's got to be aligned, and that alignment, if you're employed to do a job, you probably need to trust that person to do their job.
Yeah. And each player, whatever they've been signed up with, their side clauses, the agent thinks that, hey, this guy should be starting, he should be getting 20 points a game, but if a guy is only getting 10 points a game,
there's people who will, like out of college, will want to have a guaranteed starting spot and things like that, and that's up to the head coach. And for me,
whether he's got to do that,
head coach, this is what they're asking. I'd always be really transparent. No, we're not going to do that, or yes, we are, or whatever it is, whatever the head coach wanted to do is what I followed. And
so how do you do that? Like if you put it in a contract from a college, and hey, we want to start, and then they start and they're not up to it, like how does that resolve?
I never did that personally, but I believe you just say you're going to start and you give them probably 5 or 6 games, and if you're no good, don't.
Like Tamari Wigness, he started every game. Played 2 minutes and then you didn't see him again. Might as well throw a 10 over it. Anyway, mate, I want to stick in this, and you just tell me, no,
Yep.
Bruce, you're out of bounds, and then slap Steve.
Okay.
Did JD get fired mid-season? How did it become where you were the head coach for a few games, and then Van Dandy to the rescue?
Interesting story.
No, like it was just in my role as general manager, I had to report back to the owners what I thought was happening, and I did that earlier in the season, and just said, hey, this is what I believe is going on, and not trying to move the pieces anywhere, but just had my feel with the group and the way JD was going, and sort of.
I'm going to pipe in with an insult while you think about answering. JD lost me when they went to Perth, and the first sub in the first game of the season, he put Statman on as the first sub to pick up Bryce Cotton. And I'm thinking, are you nuts? I mean, that's not fair on the kid. He's still trying to find his way in the NBL. Statman is playing really well at the moment in NBL 1. And I just said, like, how did... I blew me away. It just blew me away that he did.
It's tough. Coaching's tough. I reckon JD was a really good assistant for the Kings. Individual development was really good. Head coaching.
It's a different game.
It's a different beast, and so I just had to. So I tried my best to support him as best I could in my role as GM, and I guess my stand-in within the group. I just put so this is what's going on, and I got told, that's fine. I got asked if I wanted to coach, and I was like, no, I do not want to coach. I'm just telling you that we've got to be prepared. If this doesn't go, if we can't turn it around, there's a list of names on that email, and Justin Schull was one of them. And just as a GM, that's what I do. I was also told to not report back to the owners as well by the CEO, which I found very interesting. So all the owners were getting was one message from the CEO the whole time. So,
Are you willing to share who that person is?
I think we all know who it is who's listening to this. I don't want to get any issues.
I didn't know who the
It would have been.
CEO was.
I'm guessing that was McClellan, wasn't it? So,
It's on public record who the
It
CEO
was,
was
I'm saying,
during my
it's a
time.
All you got to do is some research, Steve.
Yeah, I think I
And
got
Bruce.
it right.
JD was removed with how many games remaining in the season?
Oh,
Heaps.
yeah, halfway
Through the season.
more than halfway to go. And
Right.
that was just a situation where there was meetings in America that took place, and I got asked if I would fire JD, and I was like,
Hang
shouldn't
on.
that be the CEO's role? But sure. And then it was delayed a little bit, and then they came back and it happened, and I was like, well, who's coaching? I knew I was out of the mix. They hired this basketball advisor, Stu Lash. I was like,
The very same.
I was
Okay.
like, what's going on here? This is weird, but be professional. And then it was like, oh, Vandy can coach and you can be his assistant. And I was like, no. Vandy's early in his career. I want Vandy to be a good head coach. I don't think he's ready yet. So that's what I'll coach interim and until you guys find someone else. I was out of the loop of that sort of stuff. And I think my first game we coached, we had 6 roster players, had a few injuries at that stage. Lost by 40 to New Zealand.
That's right.
Came back and
you
at
won.
home and we beat Perth. We got Tanner Krebs back and I played him in the 4th spot. Tanner had like his best NBL game ever, I reckon. The next week we played Tassie at home, and that was where I wasn't good enough coach at that stage. They ran the same play the whole fucking 4th quarter, and I remember it, and I should have changed it up. I should have just iced, switched guard to guard, switched and iced it, and didn't just let Milton Doyle get over the top of it. But that was just because I didn't want that to happen to Vandy. Like, I didn't want him to be exposed, and I thought it'd be, that's what I look back on that. And then the next game we played, Aaron Baines came back and had a really good conversation with Bainesy after that game. That's when it all went pear-shaped, and I was interested in finishing out the season at that stage because I thought I got the group to buy in, and I was offered a contract which no one in their right mind would sign. Clay clearly wanted to get rid of me, and I just pulled away and said, look, I'll go back to the GM, and Greg can coach, and I knew my time was up then, but you just got to be professional.
Yeah, it's not a great look for the club that year, and difficult for you in the situation you're in, difficult for Vandy, difficult for players,
it's difficult for everyone. It wasn't a good time to be around, and the way I like to be really transparent with things, and it just didn't feel a bit like that. So my timing was always going to be when.
At the time, it's really hard for the fans to understand because the media are writing half-truths or things that they think is going on, and that's not necessarily what's being discussed.
My thing goes back, and we got to do our research. Did the people from the United States hire McClellan?
Yes,
would have had it at least to prove it.
Recommendations from people in Australia. Yeah.
And Stu was involved from the go.
Yeah, he was the basketball advisor.
We've given Stu an Australian nickname. We call him the Lasharoo, and
See, Stevie can't hear. It's Lash LaRue.
Lash LaRue,
right? You've heard of that Pulp Fiction? Hey, Lash LaRue.
Oh, jeez, it's a good old movie, but
that's an interesting thing that Lash Stu.
Yeah,
LaRue.
That's where I met Stu for the first time. When he came.
Like I worked with him and I tried to introduce him to everyone in Brisbane basketball. I wanted him to feel welcome. I'd be professional all the way through the end of it. And all I asked him was, I know what's going on, Stu. Just let me know when it's going to happen. And he didn't do that. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's my only thing I'll say on it.
I'm holding my breath. I mean, it's a good thing. And I think Greg's really good. I think, and I've seen him on the day. He's well prepared. He communicates well. His teams buy in. I would have just given him the job, but, Stu was doing the review. D-Mac, I don't know if he's the tactician and statistician that Stu is, but, he's a worker. He's a humper. I've rather watched his individual sessions. They're good.
Good. Yeah. Good.
But, and now the other one, the heavy set, Patrick Ewing's son. I think his name's Patrick Ewing.
He is.
The second.
Patrick Ewing Jr.
I don't know.
Just do your
I
research.
think that was the highlight of my year last year, actually seeing the Patrick Ewing at a Bullets game. That was so good.
Yeah.
That was so cool to see him sitting there. That was unreal.
We didn't know. We were sitting opposite, and one of the boys said, I think it was Lukey Gribble.
Yeah.
Lukey goes, that's Patrick Ewing over there. And we're looking at him and going, oh, no, he's not big enough. He's not big enough. And then he sort of unwinded from his chair. And you go, holy shit, that's Patrick Ewing. So that was pretty cool.
Getting back, that was a good interruption. Is getting back to, so were you the one instrumental in getting Rocco Zakarsky to become a Bullet?
No, it was time I was...
That was after you, right?
That was after, but I was on the way out, so I sort of stayed out of that. I didn't want to start that relationship. I knew what was going on, so I didn't want to get involved in that.
Right.
So, no.
But
that
you
was
were definitely with Terrell, or because that was Andre, right? They got
there was Tyrell. Yeah, wouldn't be at this club if it wasn't for me.
I'm
really.
Yes,
I'm openly about.
Can we?
So, finish that.
Can we cut that open and peel it back a bit?
Oh, there was a time where Tyrell had some injuries
Yeah.
going up, and he had choices between different players, and I was like, "There's no way we're letting go of Tyrell. No way, no chance. That kid's so fucking good.
Well,
Left hand, right hand, skill wise." Just
need
to get a good run.
I feel like an
physically.
idiot.
Just double him in the low post.
Yeah, well, he's got
God.
better at that. He's got a bit. He's passing better. He steps and sees the floor a little bit more when he gets it in the low post.
The game's changed a bit too. You don't really post players up these days, so it's just figuring
Not
out
at all.
like him in the short roll. He's screening better. He's stronger. He's finishing above his head a lot better. Finishes right and left hand. You just got to get him moving into space.
yeah,
And defensively, he's got that length and size. So he's just got to get better at
His
balling up.
hands
And
in his early career were dodgy, and
but you can-
he's improved that 1,000 times.
he's going to be unreal. He won't be in this
Mate.
league much longer.
He did well in the summer league. I was half expecting. He's 7 foot.
If he had a bit more bounce to him, he's an NBA player. He's a bit ground bound at the moment. Like he's not elevating and dunking a lot of those ones, which the American athletes will do or whatever, or the NBA guys will do, whatever they are, whatever nationality they are. But like that's where Tyrell probably doesn't make the NBA.
He's got to be a better passer.
He had 14 and 9 in one of the games.
He's just got to make the right team with the right coach, puts him in a good system.
Yeah.
He's an NBA player, but doesn't stand out for that because of that reason. But like he's a Euro, I think he can get bigger and stronger, and high level Euro teams will be chasing him.
I take my hat off to
he's
Terrell.
really good.
He's the last couple of seasons he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
And he's definitely still going to be big for us because he's going to be our starting big in the Bullets. And the Bullets, again, I know, just stay on them for a second. The latest signing from them is the Dukas.
Yeah, it's exciting. Like Jukas on a 1 year
That's
deal.
probably the most excited of a signing for the Bullets for me.
He's
for
a
long
shooter,
time.
great scorer. He's
6'7"?
ready to go. Yeah, good size. 5 years in college.
So why would he's on the bubble of the NBA? He played 20 odd games this year, and I watched some footage, and it's fucking good.
Yeah.
Do you think he just wants to come out here and improve himself?
Pretty stacked team he's playing on at the moment too.
Hey,
OKC, very talented. So yeah, maybe just to get that.
he's only
play
signed
more
for 1
games.
year.
Yeah, so I think it's get numbers up and play free, and see how you go with that, and if that translate back to the NBA or high level Europe. We won't see Alex around.
And do you know him at all?
I don't know him at all, no. But I've always kept an eye on him, and super talent.
At the under-20s, he was. We had Tyrell and Dalton and Sam falling.
Yeah.
He was with. It was the last game for the bronze medal because the Vicks beat us. Chris Ansky coached the Victoria team, and everybody said, this Dukas is good. And I think he was at the center of excellence.
Yeah.
They go, but he's going to play AFL.
Ah,
I heard that as well.
Well, he wouldn't be the first
to do that.
NBL player that I've heard, and I was like, God damn, he's a good athlete, and tough, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he strong, tough kid.
But to be in that OKC squad, there's got to be a lot of upside about him because they're not going to sign a turkey.
Well, I think he's got the NBA skill, which is his shooting. Right,
right.
so
Yeah,
that's why
a
he's
special
there.
skill.
So it'll be really exciting to watch him and Jalen Adams play together. Tyrell in there, got a good little core of players for the Bullets this year. So
I think the kid, one of the things for me is whether this Holt and the kid from New Zealand, I mean, they're completely unknowns if you ask me, our league. I mean, if you go look at their college stuff, it's okay.
You're not talking about Milner. You're talking about the other kid.
Tane Murray.
Taylor Main is the
Tane
kid.
Murray, he's with him, right? With the Bullets.
He's the New Zealand kid, right?
Yeah, so he played at Virginia.
Guard?
And guard, a bit like Statman.
Right, okay.
In juniors, was an elite player, scorer, really good, talented, goes to Virginia and probably gets that bashed out of them to a certain degree. So he's just got to come back and rediscover, Cody's getting there slowly.
He's having a great NBL one season.
Which is great. So can Tane just step off and just step that up straight away and play a role?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know much about the Holt kid?
No. To To be honest, no, I don't.
But he's 6'10".
Good size.
Yeah.
He's a US 6'10". That means 6'7.5".
Pacific shrink.
Even wears Gene Simmons
Weren't
boots.
You were 6'8" when you came out, weren't you?
Lindsay was looking all over the airport like it's just Lindsay and I now, because Gordon said, and Pacific had me down at 6'5". Gordon said, oh, he'd be 6'6". Lindsay's taller than me. What a disappointed look on his face.
There's so many guys. I mean, James Harper was one that came to Townsville. I think he was listed at 6'8", something like that. And he was 6'4". And I was like,
Yeah.
what is Stacks recruiting? We're all looking going, we're all rolling our eyes going,
Turn around, get back on the plane.
Rob Rose, you could imagine what Rob Rose had to say about that.
Yeah.
Funny.
Can I ask you a question? Just step back to now the Boomers, okay? And you've had 10 years being involved in that program. How do you see the Boomers of your era that you played in and what you see? I mean, obviously we've got so many NBA players, but there's that talk of what Joey and Paddy brought into the culture. Like, did you have that same culture?
Yeah, I think we were one of the starters of the culture. I mean, the Boomers are the Boomers. You don't want to, like with Andrew Vlahoff, Luke Longley, Mark Bradkey, Andrew Gaze. There's a special group of people that sort of got that started and what it meant to play for Australia. And the Boomers culture sort of started then, and it's great to see it continued on these days. I think I guess Paddy and Shane are probably similar size, but then the size of our guys have gotten bigger and stronger and play multiple positions, and it's just exciting to see the new generation come through, what they're able to do.
Well, imagine trying to select the next Boomers team.
Yeah, pretty hard.
That's got to be, there's got to be NBA players that potentially miss out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of debate about Thibault missing out in the last Olympics. I mean, hopefully he'll be...
Would you rather have had Ingles or Thibault?
I mean, see, I don't, one personally don't, but...
They're all defensive. I've never seen that.
Steve
never had an opinion.
Okay, I'll answer your question.
He's opinionless.
No, that's very rare.
I just fell off my chair.
No, I would have preferred Thibault from a defensive perspective.
I think it's very hard, given what Matisse did in Tokyo, to not take Matisse.
I saw an interview where he was saying,
I mean, the thing is,
Wayne,
like,
you don't take anything for granted, because he flew all the way over there thinking, and he felt I did well. But you can't take anything for granted.
No, you can't, and that happened, and hopefully Matisse is in the running again for the next...
Yeah, I just think it's so exciting to see Dyson and Josh. They're going to spearhead this thing for the next 10 years, and they're world class.
Josh and Dyson.
Kitty and Dyson Daniels, like in that
Dyson,
backcourt.
How good was he?
Like
he's 21 and he's
he looked
22.
shaky at the start of that last World Cup.
But
I just think like he's now the confidence, the size, the way he can defend every position, and it's exciting to watch. And if Matisse makes his way back into it, or Jukas, like there's so many names who
Furphy. We mentioned this on one of our
You
podcasts.
see that dunk of Furphy.
Forgot about Furphy. Like, there's so many good players. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and Brian talked about this, about how he got the second stint, and that Heel, Gaze, Longley, Bradkey, Vlahoff, they all bowed out at the same time.
Yeah.
And Phil ended up getting, I guess right? Chris, Anstey.
Yeah, I missed 2 years when Phil got the job in 01.
Okay.
I didn't play 01.
Right. But I mean, you've got to, and this I guess would be Jason Smith and Peter Lonergan's role, and now in their function about, we can't let this happen again. Where 6 of our core finish at the same time.
Yeah.
And, so it wasn't about, the kid that played for the Jack Jumpers. He's played really well.
Magnay?
No.
Oh,
The other
Jack
kid,
McVeigh.
Jack McVeigh.
Yeah.
Right. That I have no question on that selection, or Magnay.
Well,
Because Magnay does something that's pretty
there's-
unique.
They're X factors, right? So they got the nod instead of Matisse, because with Nick Kay, God love him, and he puts his hand up all the time, but sometimes that shot's just not there, whereas Jack's just that automatic scorer. Will's the shot blocker. Jort Breath and Jock Landale aren't the shot blockers, so Will's got that skill set. So everyone's got this
He's got
elite skill
stronger
set.
too, isn't he, Dave? Like he looks.
Yeah, he's
thicker.
had a good run of injuries, and he's performing at a really high level, which is great for
He's
Australian
got that
basketball.
quick.
The verticality is fearless too. Like he puts his body on the line every time
Let's
he tries
talk
to block a
about
shot.
other guys. That Lachlan Albrook.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
He'd have
he
to be,
is
you
good.
know what I mean?
So this is where the smirk before with Owen Foxwell is that Lockie dominated NZNBL last year,
Yeah,
and he could have gone to Summer League last year, and he's 6'8", 6'10".
yeah.
But he stuck to his task. He had good advice, and he stuck to it. And he
Who
played.
did he play for you?
Good
He
point,
played for
Sam.
Canterbury Rams.
Okay.
So he played for Illawarra, Canterbury Rams, MVP of the league, got a lot of confidence, came back to the NBL. Whenever Sam Froling wasn't playing well, Lockie was ready to go. Then parlays that into an NBA deal. And I just think you just got to stay the course sometimes. You don't have to skip steps.
He plays inside of his lane. He's a bit quirky, one of
He's
those.
Draymond Green-esque, I think, like just with that ability to carry the ball, defend, be physical.
But he gets the ball. He's like a Damo Hickey, but 6'10".
Yeah.
You know how Hickey just gets around the ball. So does Albrecht.
Yeah.
And his, I don't know.
So it's going to hurt Wollongong, isn't it? The Illawarra.
Yeah.
Because Sam will be out for virtually the season,
and Albrecht's
right?
gone, absolutely.
Albrecht's gone. You try to replace those two bears, and it's.
And
they signed a DP, but I mean,
Illawarra have also lost Trey Kell.
yeah,
They got Jackson Ball, the New Zealand young kid, as a DP.
that's
good.
He's I didn't know he's a Kiwi,
So many good Kiwis coming through.
right?
Hayden Jones is the one.
Can we talk about that? Because it seems like with the Breakers and with Dylan at the head of the... I mean, I don't know Dylan. You obviously
It's a
played
directive from the owners.
and they're
Total Kiwi.
and they're trying to make this is we're Kiwis,
Yeah.
and I actually think it's a really good tactic.
Yeah. It's
Can we get you another refreshment?
I don't want to drink you out of house and home.
I'll just put
Steve.
this on pause while
Hey,
Steve
mate.
gets us some refreshment. Palmer's back. Palmer's bringing us back. We just had a little bit of a break here. Thank you for Sam McKinnon for joining the podcast. Now, after the Bullets, you went down as
South East
assistant coach to the Phoenix to, what do they call them? The Heartland. Reaches all the way down to Gippsland. With Mike Kelly. You had to replace Mike. Mike, the management decided to replace him.
Yeah, so a 2-year deal as assistant. So
Yep.
a good mentor of mine is Larry Senstock. So I caught up with Larry post the redundancy and just talking about just what do I do. So he spoke about sort of going backwards to go forwards and limited GM roles in Australian NBL and how they come about. So really enjoyed that stint as interim for the Bullets and wanted to finish off that year, and I was happy to leave after that, but that wasn't to be. So Mike got the role with Phoenix. He asked if I wanted to be his assistant, and I was very appreciative of that. So I made the jump down there. Had a sort of start off well the first year, then a few injuries, and like a settling year, I guess, for Mike to get to understand the Phoenix structure, how that works. Then year 2, a really
Can I
poor
ask?
start.
I mean, I don't know him from a bar of soap. The guy, Mitchell, who was the coach before Mike.
Yep.
Simon Mitchell.
Yeah. How do you go from being the head coach and now you're the GM of the? Is that correct? Is he the GM?
Yeah, so I wasn't around, but I guess he wasn't. His contract wasn't renewed at the end of the Phoenix deal, so that's when Mike went down there.
It's a strange
And
setup,
then I
right?
believe we all got wind of it, but that Simon was going to be the GM at the back end of that year, so that sort of whisper started to float around. I think at the very end of the season, so it's like, okay, so that we just didn't know how it would work.
So he would have replaced Tommy.
Tommy Greer was the CEO.
Tommy Greer.
So Tommy hired Simon back as general manager.
Is that a bit of a duplication?
Oh, look,
Tommy Greer's no longer there, right?
he's no longer there. So, Simon was in charge of basketball. I think Tommy was trying to shift the focus on the commercial side of the business, try to bring in more revenue,
Right,
which makes sense. Melbourne's a tough market. So it made sense to have a GM at a club like that where you're trying to get both sides functioning really well.
Yeah.
So that we started that year and recruiting wise, and I think we're going well. Oh, sorry. that first year, all things were going well until we let go of Will Cummins and Craig Myler got hurt.
That's right.
They were our two stable guys,
Yep.
and everyone else was like this. So you lose that stability, guys, and then we just went a bit, off
Did you guys
kilter.
make the playoffs that year?
No. So
Okay.
it was sort of just
Well, I actually thought your roster last year,
yep.
and I know you got off to a bad start, and then Mike got that affects the players. And I know you stepped into, you did a great job while working out who the head coach was going to be. But I actually liked your roster. I mean, Hurt could play.
A lot of new guys too, so that's the reality is I think there was only one or two returning guys from the year before, so it's tough to get everyone sync up straight away, and unfortunately we couldn't get done, so 0-5, and I was asked to be interim, and I was like, is this for one game? I don't know, anyway. Anyway,
What was it? It was 5 games, wasn't
it
it?
was 3 games.
3 games.
So it was 5 games, and we were playing against the top 3 teams. And then I think after 2 days of being in the job, I got told that they were bringing someone else in. So I had to go and coach against United, Breakers, and Illawarra, who were the top 3 teams at that stage. So, we managed to win the game against United, which was great. Just the assistant Luke Brennan and we strong on our opinions on how to do things, and we did this particular way against United and directional stuff, and it really sort of bogged them down. So I was able to score, and we made a bit of a grind and won that one. We went over and beat the Breakers by 20-odd.
Bringing that, I know though, but you had...
it was just clear direction, that's all it was.
What's the redhead that came from Sydney?
Angus Glover.
Yeah, I mean, I really like him, mate.
Yeah.
Hurt can play. Owen was starting to come to his own. He was really coming off the bench and giving you guys. I mean, Sobey started to seem to find his role a bit better.
Yeah, Derek got hurt early in the season, so without him, I think he got hurt in my first game against United. His hamstring, Derek Walton.
Yeah.
And then he did his hamstring later on the court against the Bullets when that slippery court you guys played on.
Yeah.
Oh, in Taranki.
Yeah, in the Heartland.
Oh, that's where the Heartland
Gippsland.
starts in Gippsland. Then it works its way up to the eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Yeah, and then Josh came in, so I just stayed on as assistant, trying to support him as best I could, and we managed to make the semi-final, and
Well, me observing, because I take a lot of interest in the games that you were involved in, and he seemed to be going to your, like, you see head coaches. I watch games differently. I'll watch a timeout, and I like listening to the head coach, and I like listening to see what they're saying and how much control they've got of the players. But I just saw, especially early, Josh was bouncing off you a
smart.
lot.
I think he doesn't know the league. Like, we all know that we've been working a long time, so we all understand the play and the personalities. And he definitely did that a lot. And I thought it was a good relationship. Unfortunately, he didn't want it to continue.
Would that? I reckon, this is my opinion, and you don't have to answer yes or no. I reckon that he was probably threatened by you. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I thought I did a really good job in helping him get up to speed with the league and supporting him. And
things happen for a reason.
Disappointed that the words I got told was, I'm a head coach in waiting. He just wants assistance. So that's all I got told.
Yeah.
So
and that's crazy.
I don't know.
I look at things in the commercial world, which I've spent most of my life in, and you always, if say you're a GM, anyone that's underneath you, you're teaching them to do your job. That's how you evolve in the commercial world, because ultimately people move and stuff. At any one moment, you should be able to have someone take over your role. And there should be head coaches. If they're a good head coach, they should be very confident with their assistants. Right?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to have 3 ex-head coaches or head coaches in waiting. But he's good mates with a guy that has earned a lot of accolades and awards, John Patrick. Mm-hmm. So he was an assistant to John, I believe, in Germany.
Yep.
So John's now going to be coaching Jeremy Lin's club in Taiwan.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yep.
Just dropping names, mate.
Well,
Tommy Wisman is there
Yeah,
as,
yeah.
Everyone's there.
as an insultant.
It never stops in this podcast dropping names. But anyway,
Name droppers.
So, mate, what do you I know you would know have some idea what's going on at South East Melbourne. What do you think of their recruitment moving into the next season?
Yeah, like there's a few Gorjok's
They've lost
back.
Hurt. They've lost
Gorjok's back. DJ Mitchell's there. All players that I've recruited previously. So it's they've got a big body point guard. All things I've been pretty strong on. I think this league, Bryce Cotton's amazing, but you need big body point guards. I just
You
love them.
can't win this competition
With
without a
Daly.
point guard, can you?
Yeah. So anyway, they've good job on them. So
Okay.
love Sobes and wish all the best to some really good people there.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Bugger that. So you got one more. We're gonna get close to tying this in a bow because we're gonna be dining tonight. We
Yeah.
don't need too much Bruce can ruin somebody's appetite. You got one more year with the Taranaki heirs,
yeah.
right?
Producer.
What's your fix that? What's your future look like? Yeah, and you mentioned you don't want to pursue the coaching, or what if a coaching thing fell in your lap?
Oh, look, I'd love to pursue coaching, but I've got to be realistic that there's limited opportunities in Australia. I've got one more year in Taranaki. I live in Melbourne, so I've sort of just got back from that, been away for 5 months. I've taken a few weeks off, come up to Queensland, so I'll get back and reassess and see what sort of potentially what PD stuff I could do. A few irons in the fires of different roles, but I'm not sure if they're really me. So I just got to see what happens, and maybe a year of just calling up Gorge and going to watch the Kings for a week or two and doing that, or just being ready that if
Have you heard about the Kings Run?
no.
It's a thing they've been doing on a Wednesday, I think it is. But
Yeah, it's Wednesday. It's just like Albert
Open
Park
gym.
on a Friday.
Open gym.
but every NBL one player that's around, and
Every state does that, which is good. Like Brisbane will do it here. I'm sure they would do it. It's smart. It's just trying to unearth whatever
Yeah.
people can come in and contribute.
You know what I've learned
Well,
over my short... I don't mean to interrupt. I wouldn't have an NBL player on an NBL 1 team ever again. Here we are. We're at the pointy end of the season, and
they can't play.
Yeah, that's why the NZNBL is so good
yeah,
because it's done.
it's done before
It's done. And
preseason starts.
it's July 4th is the last regular season. 6 teams make it the first weekend. If only 2 teams make the grand final, so you're pretty much done by the 11th of July.
Right.
So you get a shorter time frame. In my opinion, the NZNBL is a better development league for players, where you train like a professional, you play harder competition, and you become a seasoned vet.
Yeah.
That's what I believe personally.
Now, do they
Just
play
after
40-minute
experiencing it.
games or 48-minute games?
40-minute games. There's a few quirky bits with player timeouts and things like that, but Justin Nelson did a good job of making the game enjoyable and entertaining.
Right.
But yeah, the NBL 1, it is sort of long now. Like I think, are they even in finals yet? No, they started finals last week, right? NBL 1.
No, this weekend. In the
NBL
north, but in the
South.
south.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
started last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely does drag on, and
And a heap of the NBL players now have been told by their club you're not playing anymore.
yeah.
Well, have you stopped by and see the job site at Auchenflower, where, by the way, Sammy won a QBL, or was it called NBL 1 then?
I think it was NBL 1. NBL 1.
You won the championship.
What was it, QBL then? I
think it was QBL.
It was QBL.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, Sam, how do you carry around all this winning?
Well, that's what I try to tell people, Steve. I'm pretty good at winning, but it's not translating to jobs.
Mate,
but anyway.
As we tie this in the bow, I'm going to make my final comment too. I want to firstly thank you for coming to the studio, and I think I'm glad we have done this in person. Mate, I have enormous amount of respect for you, and I've got no doubt that it's the way sport is. Unfortunately, I've got no doubt that you're going to be having a career in coaching, because I know you do a great job, but thanks for coming by today.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Give me a handful of knuckles. Thank you, Sammy.
Thanks,
Good on you,
Thanks,
mate.
boys.
And that is a wrap.
All right. Thanks, Sam.